get started, you're most welcome to the Central Code Bootcamp, Cohort 1. And I hope I'm audible. If I'm not audible, please let me know. I'm seeing many AIs here. Angela, you're most welcome. And I don't know, am I audible? Yeah. Am I audible? Am I audible? I want to start exactly at 10 minutes past. Okay, thank you. Anyone can say hi. I don't know who is read.ai meeting notes. Is it a notes taker? Okay. All right. So I think this is our first session. Like yeah, we are going to be really taking on this as a serious. Our intention is to create builders, like to really nurture builders and build products. That's our main intention. So yes, tighten your seatbelt and yeah. So we are going to be starting at exactly 10 minutes past. So for these first 10 minutes, at 10 minutes past 5, so for these past 10 minutes, we can, feel a bit relaxed, say hello to each other. Yeah. Diana, you're welcome to the sessions, and yeah.
Thank you, Vianney. Happy to join in.
Happy. How is Ethiopia?
Oh my God. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Are you going to hack 10th to 14th?
Yes. There's plenty of opportunity to hack and learn from other developers and compete for different bounties and network and everything. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay, that's great. You never know, you might come and get those bounties back home. But anyway, it's awesome that you're enjoying them. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we are 2 minutes to time. I don't know who else is here. I think I should. Okay. Yeah, you can say hello. I don't know, Asasira Arthur. If you're on, you can say hello, and then because we are still 2 minutes at exactly 10 minutes. Yeah. Hello, how are you, Asasira?
I'm good. How are you? Happy to be here.
All right, there's a plane passing by, so yeah. Good.
I know. I'm outside.
Okay, great having you here. Judith, yeah, Judith. Hello, Judith, how are you? Okay, that's awesome. I don't know. There is Johnson. All right, so yeah, 1 minute to getting started. You can join and maybe turn off your microphone. It's in the Telegram. Okay. So today we are going to start something amazing. Actually, I was among the main people, if not the main, really behind behind the sort of the things we're going. What is that thing called? Behind the curriculum. So the main intention is us getting the confidence in building stuff. I think we really have a great opportunity at that height, and I thank the team behind the Central Code, Angela and Mr. Joseph Bossat. Really, there's been a lot. I didn't think that this will be too much, but these people have really been pushing, and great shout out to them. They are really great at making sure that things happen at the right time, smoothly. So kudos to them. All right, it's exactly 10 minutes past 17, and today we are going to mainly look at introductions. Not necessarily introductions. I think there is something for everyone to pick from. It seems just like it could be an introduction, but I guarantee us that this can be a very, very huge stepping stone. And I think let me share my screen. So is my screen audible? Oh, is my screen visible, not audible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So I wanted to set some sort of background to what we are going to be going through, and I want to be like very, very intentional and clear on many things. So I'm going to start with this: how to get started with programming. It could seem like something far-fetched, but sometimes breaking these things down is something very crucial. So I think when I say how to get started with programming, I'm mainly saying actually how to get started with I think I should stop my video for a bit. I think when I talk about this, mainly talking about how do you get started in the Web3 journey, or in programming this space. So we always assume that to get started in Web3 development, you have some background, but this is actually what you need. You need to have the background of or some knowledge in Web2, and if you don't have it, it's not a crime. It's okay, but you need to know that you need to have it. So, because if you're interested, for example, in creating smart contracts or tooling or protocol, these are all built on the web, and the web as we know it is Web2. So we call it Web2. We shall get to know why it is called Web2 and more. So I'll also be using something. Recently I checked on the Jamboard, and fun enough, it is no longer being supported. But maybe I will be writing something. So mainly that is something that you need to look at, your Web2 knowledge. And for example, what we decided to do here at onsite is make sure that everyone can pull up everyone. And what do you mean by Web2? We mean mainly HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then heading towards React. So if you don't know HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, you could look into the Decentracode Telegram and ask someone. Maybe another fellow student could help out, or you can tag me, and then have conversations, like learn quickly. If surely we take on these 4 months very seriously, I don't think it will even reach 4 months when our value has gained return. So if you don't know HTML, it is not a problem, but get quick with it. Watch YouTube, and trust me, give it time and you will learn it. So we are assuming that you know HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. So JavaScript is much, it can go to React, but JavaScript itself, you need to be well conversant with, JavaScript. So because this is like the language that ties everything together, and it is one of the important aspects of building. Okay, so that's the background that we usually think that somebody coming to Web3 has, and you may not have it, but if you don't have it, then build it along. Take more time on learning these concepts. Engage with anyone in the Decentracode group. Like seriously, if you're serious on your game, I think you will grasp these concepts quick. Otherwise, we think that you know a bit about those things. So then after HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we think of things like the front end. And so front end, what is it? So mainly when you know HTML and CSS and JavaScript, you're very good at creating static websites where you have a website, and then maybe it has colors. And then when you start interacting, when you start interactivity, when you start things that would require maybe some action, let me say when somebody places a button, most of the things that you see on your website is the front end. And that's what makes it look good or look amazing, or in any case, And then there is the backend technology. So backend technologies is the part of the software that allows what you see to operate and cannot be direct accessed by the person using the website. So mainly, if I click this thing, something happens. If I give a like that like goes down, or like something happens at the back, or if I say this. So what makes you interact with this front end that you're seeing, with these screens, with what you're seeing, that sort of interaction and the logic behind is the back end. It's mostly private data, business logic data, processing, etc. That happen at the back end. So from just knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that you use in our website, we also expect you to have some concepts about front end and back end, a little concepts about it, having that knowledge that the front end is what I'm seeing and some of the things that are happening on my screens, and the back end is the logic behind the interaction with what I'm seeing on my screens. All right, so we are having really some long time, like 4 months, 16 weeks is some long time. And the next question is, how do you set yourself for success? So this is also still in what is programming. So how can you like sort of have the zeal to to go through this process? And I think it could seem tedious or burnouts and something like that. So how do you set yourself for success? So the reason I thought about this is I think there are a lot of like misconception about time frames on how on how to get certain things, but I think the focus should be on how to get skilled and what you can do, what can you do that if you bring that value on table, it can be exchanged for other value, probably money or something else. So one of the things I wrote this down so that I can also tell us on this first lecture. We might not get it again. Yeah. Okay, someone has been asking, I think. Hey Vianney, are we here up to 9? Just asking so that I set myself here. Yes. I think 8. So someone was asking whether we are here up to 9. Yeah, I think these sessions are taking 4 hours, so you can set yourself. Yeah. Okay. I think that question has been answered. Yes, Mr. Tumusime.
Thank you very much for your time and the offer. But what I would like to inquire about is this video recorded in case someone maybe gets interrupted? So you can come back and review later.
So, no, this content is not recorded. Or if it is recorded, it will not be as here because we are going for some good time. So maybe there will just be like some summaries. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? And also the other thing, okay, Omega Judith, I have this slide, so I'll keep sharing. I think maybe I should. Okay. So yeah, in any case, I have one screen for today, but there is a lot that is in it. So yeah, if I don't know if that answers your question, Omega Judith. The other thing is that these sessions is really for people who are interested in building, who are here to build. So today we are going to have this session, tomorrow, Friday, up to Friday, then Saturday, it will be building up some things. And that's how we are going to keep pulling the muscle. So yeah, I don't know about the recording. I'm not that sure. Thank you. I think everything is answered for now. Maybe yeah. Okay, so let me continue with what I was doing. Okay, yes, we are totally interested in building. Oh wait, this runs from Monday to Saturday. This runs from Monday to Saturday actually, but on Saturday we shall all be building and guiding each other on what and how to build. It's not that you are going to begin with something big, but having the concept of building something all around is something that is huge, that is actually missing so much. Yeah. All right, thank you. Let me continue. So I was talking about how to really build, how to set yourself up So as a new developer or a new builder, it is easy to get intimidated. You usually come across many things you do not understand. It could be Discord server, blog, about like these concepts. Like there is a lot of noise around, and it can easily intimidate you. Maybe frameworks, I don't know. But I think we just have to shift our like sort of learning perspectives. So yeah, you have to shift your learning perspective, and the best way I can advise is making this like part of you. Maybe probably every day you spare like these 4 hours and make it part of you. Today you understand a concept, and tomorrow you may not understand one, but you keep at it. I think that's how we get very better, or we get better at building. So it's not like a goal, like you have just one goal that now I'm a good programmer. No, it's that I've gained a lot of knowledge around programming, that I can use it, but I can still have place to add on knowledge. Because the reason I'm saying that is really this technology is new. Ethereum was out in 2015. These are 10 years, so it's a new technology. Bitcoin was out in 2009. So that means that many things are everyone is learning on the job, and you require a mindset of keeping learning and just making building as like part of you. Yeah. And then the other thing is the second point I can say about that is you are your most examiner. Like you know exactly the concepts that you have fully grasped and those you haven't. So yeah, treat your time wisely. The 4 months is meant to introduce you to perspectives, new realities, and leave you inquisitive. But this is a foundation you have to build on and keep improving. So that is really, you are your own examiner, means you know yourself best. So you might know one concept so well and you don't know the other concept anyway, but maybe we take it like maybe all of it is JavaScript, but there are some concepts you know well. So give time to those concepts you don't know well, and also make sure that you use everything. Like make sure you are improving. Yeah. So the other thing is that at least you should know why you are learning, and yeah, make sure that you better yourself every day. This is something that we can do. I even didn't want to put this. I had thoughts of not putting this here, but I realized that sometimes it's to some builders who are starting, everything is just a bet. Like, let me try this, if it works out. But I think for building, the more you build, the more you want to learn. So you should have like sort of an open learning mindset, and whatever concepts you learn, build something out of them. Let people see it, or let your customers analyze it, give you feedback, and keep building as you're learning. Okay. What more should I talk about? Yeah, I think I've really talked about that, why you should be building. But also I can say, we are here, most of us, we are here to build because maybe we want to build a product that can give us value. Some of us want money. So you also have to think about this, that in all the things you're doing, there is the other side of the coin, of the equation, and there are users of your product, employers, open source maintainers if you want to add to open source, hackathon organizers if you want to do hackathons. Like that's where you want to make money. So you have to look at what they consider as value. Yeah. And keep building towards that. Okay, what else? Yeah, so I mentioned many points here, but I feel that's something good. Then the other thing is something that is very important is we have to learn to build in public. Like mostly as Ugandans, you need to be in those X spaces participating. if you build something, however small it is, you need to go ahead and probably put it on GitHub and then host it on Vercel so that you can share a link for someone to see what you built, like talk about it. So we need to develop the culture of building in public, and it's something that is missing. I've seen many of us don't really want to. I don't think we don't want to, but don't use Twitter. Most of the investors, most of the people on the other side of the equation are on those platforms. So whether the employers or the investors want to look at, or hackathon organizers, like you can tag them and let them know what you're doing, whether it is maintainers of GitHub repositories that contributing to could result into money, or it is just people you can pitch to. So we need to be using those platforms, and I think we need to inculcate this culture, like grow this culture of being in the spaces, knowing what's happening, and also pitching what you're doing, collaborating online. I think it is something we are missing. There is this thinking that when I'm building something, people know that I am building it, and that's not true. Probably you can get an X account for the ideas you are building. Even this journey, you could sort of document it on X, and like daily, because what will happen on Friday, by Friday you'll not have like the capacity to maybe tweet what happened today. So let's develop that mindset, because that's where the market is, that's where the potential is, and that's where our market is. And the reason I'm saying this is because really when we look at blockchain is sort of an international or global perspective, or even African perspective. That if you're just building something local, let me say purely local, you're going to miss out, you're missing out. Yeah, so you should be thinking of Africa and the global as your market, and the best place to find them is these medias. LinkedIn, talk about whatever you're doing, Twitter, OX, and many more platforms. So lastly, on that point, do not be afraid to ask. We are all different and know different things, and at different levels. So never stop asking. There is no stupid question. No question is too silly and too foolish. And also keep if you find opportunities, keep your community engaged. Keep the people you're building with engaged, so that they keep finding value at what you do and also what they are doing. Maybe I can look at the questions. So somebody has been asking what are the requirements that we should be having. Okay, so the requirements is, if you're in a computer that does Web2 is good. So if you have a computer that is doing probably Web2 building, a minute. Okay, thank you for the minute. Okay, so any computer that is doing Web2 that you use for doing your websites and mobile apps is enough for you to do Web3. All right. So any questions on that? By the way, we might not have like this talk. So you can ask questions about, maybe it's about confidence or how to build. Because what happened here on site is that people really came when they are different like levels. Yeah, some new JavaScript, some new React, and like there's been a lot of student to student learning. So I felt that this would be a very great topic, like very easy for you to catch up. You never know, someone here could be good at what you don't know, and you could easily just tag them, and yeah. So feel free. So I think should I continue? Diana.
Hi. This is not really a question.
Yes.
It's just an add-on on the confidence thing. It's just an observation I've made. Like in Uganda, I think we are raised to hold ourselves down and be shy about everything. Like the community really raises us that way. However, when you meet like other people in the Web3 space from other countries, they are so quick to speak up and talk about like even the tiniest things they have done. Like even if it doesn't make sense, they will talk and somehow it will make sense and they can learn the opportunity. So yeah, just to add on, like it's always important to just like speak up and say whatever you have to say. Like even if it doesn't add up at some point, it will. Yeah, thank you.
Man, that is really incredible. Actually, let me let me stay on that point for a while. Like, I think sometime we should really have like talks. So here we are going to be having pitch Tuesdays on site. I think if it grows, we can bring it like live, because they'll be in the morning. But this is a very serious case. Like it seems in Uganda, it's we don't have the motivation, or we are not incentivized to go for what we want. We are not incentivized to be bold. Yeah, in this now, like I've said, this technology is 10 years. Literally, everyone is learning on the job. Everyone is learning on the job. So you need to speak yourself out there. Like, man, be on the X space. For me, I think I had 56 subscribers, and that's when the first person actually who gave me money in the Web3 space, reached out to me. Like, I had moved, but he knew me from Twitter, and I only had 56 subscribers. But I was vocal on what I knew. By that time, I used to do a lot of Rust and engage the Rust team. And one time I was stuck and I was just talking around on X. And this guy asked me for my address. Actually, I didn't know even address things. And I learned a lot. Like, when we are always down on ourselves, even when we go there, like it seems as the community, we are raised in a very composure way. But the truth is, you know what you want. If you need that money and you have the solution, go for it. If you need to talk to someone, talk to them. Hear them out. Let them hear what you know or what you've done. Like, I've seen people who even sort of write about their journey when they are starting HTML. By the time the person is on CSS, they are doing some gig somewhere, and that is all from internet. So, and meanwhile, most of us are here. We've done HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and we feel like that cannot do me anything, or it is something that is very obvious. No, that's not the way it is. You need to talk about every day what you're doing, what you've learned. And I don't know why I feel this is a very huge topic, most especially for us as Ugandans. If you've started the Web3 space, even not just the Web3, Africa has a very small magnitude of builders compared to the global builders. If you're just building something here, talk about it, write about it on X, on Medium. Like, get a way to brand yourself in a way that you can just tell someone this A, B, and C, and the worst that can happen is a no. So I'd love us to speak. I think I don't know how those sessions could come, because one thing that really have that we had in mind when we are setting up these sessions is, let's give ourselves time. So the bootcamp is long enough. In it there is a lot to do, but we can have a topic and discuss about it. Yeah. If anyone really wants to say something, you need that bug, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. We are here to get the bug. And for me, as long as you're building, I'll show you what I've used, because I've been in this space building, and up to now, that's how I've been surviving. So at least I'm very open to share, and I know if more builders bring value to the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem benefits. Yeah, so okay, great to see you, Omega Judith. And you can learn to always say hi. Like, I don't know, there is as you've said, there is that yeah.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Arnold.
Yes, like what you were saying, got experience with a friend. It's an Indian.
Yeah.
We did some hackathon together, but he was not really good on
Yes.
programming, but he was starting. But after some times, he told me that he landed a job in USA. Like I was like, what's how did you do that? He told me like. Most of the developers have that kind of weakness. They build, but they don't share what they have built. So if someone, they don't know if you are even really a developer, but if you put outside what you are doing, you put outside what you are doing, you say like, today I did this, today I did this. Someone will see like your commitment. Even if you're not good, you will know like this person is consistent on what he's doing. So when you are learning, you have to know how you put outside what you're doing. You know how, like, today I did this, today I learned this, today I learned how to, today I build my first smart contract.
Yeah.
It's not something that comes from the first time, but someone is there. Someone is there, like, keep watching. He don't have to give you a like on your post. You don't have to do, but people are following your commitment. And one day you see a message tell you, you know what, I have this opportunity, can you try?
Yes.
That's how I got my first job on LinkedIn. I didn't know, I didn't expect, but someone comes from nowhere. He told me, can you build something on React?
Yeah.
Like I say, yes, I can build something on React. Told me like, I have small changes that I want you to do, and this is the amount that I've put on it. And I did that, and it was really a short, really something that I didn't even like. I was like, this amount on this small things. I was like, wow, yeah. So don't always be on your room, type code. Also put outside your, like, what you're doing. Like, not like, I've done this, share outside so that everyone will know what you're doing.
Sure. Man,
Yeah.
that is incredible. Seriously, that I've landed into such things, and I don't know. Like, you'd feel that what you know is really very small, but someone brings you a task of what you think even is not paid for. So I believe each one of us
Yes.
here, really, we need to have that. And then Twitter conversations. If you see the central code we've been having, like Twitter Spaces almost Fridays. I don't know whether we shall be having them during this time. But those things, somebody comes out of the blue. I remember one time when I was stuck, and somebody, we had a Twitter conversation, and someone from, even just say ecosystem, it's an ecosystem of its own. He came and was like, there is the Say Grant program. You guys I've been seeing you guys do spaces. He was a Nigerian, and he told us to go to that G22 funds program and see if we can apply. He had looked at the central code, Meanwhile, by that time, Central Code wasn't doing that well. And we applied, we did not even do a lot, like we just said, because he left the link. He said, man, you guys have been watching your Twitter, and we ended up getting like a grant that is somewhat from just, being there. I think people are watching when we don't know, but if you keep just, down there, like enclosed, there is nothing that will come. And then the other thing is, I've learned that other Africans can do great things. So you could be here and, your other investor is right here, because we have different capacities. So why not? Yeah, like I've come to understand that anyone you come across by, there was one guy who was always seeing me, and this time I think May 2024, I won this hackathon in Kenya, and the guy who handed me the hackathon, I won actually the My Africa challenge. So the guy who was handing in the hackathon challenge told me that, I follow you guy, I follow what you're doing. Like he knew me in a way that I didn't know, and he's an African, he's the founder of Web3 Bridge, and it didn't take me a lot to talk to him if I need something, if I needed or guidance, or even if it is cash, maybe it became easy. It's something that I didn't know. So that's the best way. That's the best way to introduce your value to the world. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about what you're learning. Here on site, we started with like the code. I don't know what they called them, but these guys are documenting what they learn every day. Code journey. Yeah, they are not documenting, actually, they are doing content around it. And it is awesome. It is something I had not thought about, since I'm very immersed in how the program goes, and I make sure that I deliver value. But these guys have really been pushing that, and it's just amazing. So you can think of something. Maybe you could do spaces between yourselves. Whatever I want to say that you feel is adding value, you can say it in the public, or any other person to add on that if you feel you have something to say. I want to give us an opportunity. I want to be very, very intentional. Okay, Mr. Manuel.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, guys. I am happy to be here.
Someone was okay.
Yeah, just to add on what Mr. Kakoza was saying, can you all hear me?
Clear.
Yeah, I personally believe if you if you document a journey of learning anything, could be code, it could be any concept, there's a way it gives a motivation in you, because you hold yourself accountable to the people that you're supposed to document to, and it pushes you to learn the concepts that you're supposed to share with them. So I think each of us should create some kind of environment where you can share your journey, especially through this bootcamp, the things that you're learning, the things that you have mastered. Now, for us who are on site, we are using a brand. We named it Code. So you could join us, but also there's someone I know from another bootcamp that decided to just put their Solidity code on Twitter. Everything that I have learned, every concept that I have mastered on a particular day, you'll find it on Twitter, the logic and the interpretation of it, the applications of that particular smart contract that they've used, and one important lesson that I have learned. And I think it's powerful because it exposes you to the people. Like, that's how I found her. I didn't even know she was a developer until I saw that code. So because of that, she's able to always update her knowledge, because she knows there are people she's accountable to. And I think it's a good thing. So each of us, I actually implore you to find a way, whether it's on X, like Vian was saying, you could do X spaces, whether it's just pictures on Twitter, whether it's anywhere you think it's convenient for you. Find a way of documenting your progress. I can assure you it's going to be wonderful. You could actually get your GitHub code and post repos on internet on your X, perhaps for anyone who wants to evaluate your code and see how good you are and what concepts that you've mastered and things you could improve. Just anything you feel like. I think it's just a wonderful thing to document a progress, a journey of learning something. So that's what I wanted to share.
All right, awesome. Yes, Fortunate.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Vianney, for that wonderful introduction and for the rest of the
Manuel,
members.
excuse me, Manuel, yeah, you can continue.
Yes, so mine is a question.
Yes.
I heard we're going to be having sessions that run up to 4 hours, and I'm concerned about knowing the actual days, considering that I'm a finalist, I have a final year project on me and stuff like that. So I needed to know the exact days. And also I joined in late, so I didn't have the opportunity to listen in. Maybe if you share that at the start of the session. So my humble appeal is that maybe you help me, maybe re-echo if you had done that before, so that I'm in position to know the number of days we are going to be meeting and also the exact duration of the sessions. Thank you.
Yeah, so these sessions are running from Monday to Saturday, and they are running for 4 hours. So the reason we have sessions that long is because of the intention that we have these sessions for. I think, okay, yeah, I'm going. Let me answer that, and then people. It's because of the intention. The intention is actually to really, there are many things we want to do. One is to remove that fear. Second is to make sure that people are building. Like, you come, you can talk about what you're doing. But third is we have created a course that is based on builders and building. You can be in the Web3 space and learn many concepts without actually building, because the biggest value you can give, whether you go out there is a lot of money in this field, there's a lot of opportunities to travel, but people we always ask, what are you doing? What can you present? What are you building? So that's it. Like, that's what we've talked about. So we are very intentional on that, and we shall be running on Monday to Friday and Saturday. Saturday is about building, but specifically, like, can build an MVP, because also it's one thing to learn many concepts. Let me say you've learned building smart contracts, but then you cannot create a product out of that. So yeah, that's the intention. So Saturday will be something like that. How do you build between each other? Like, what are you building? Like code sharing. Yeah, but that will be the focus. So Monday to Friday it will be from 5 to 9. I think those are 4 hours. The other thing is, if you really don't get some things, you can ask between the members. You can ask between the members on Telegram. Madam Judith, you're most welcome. Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Me, I just have a question, and Vian Rambi, I'm feeling a little bit disappointed already. You said for the team on site, they're already documenting what they're doing, like is it a code journey thing and doing every documentation and running around it. I feel like you should share that with all of us. It's kind of unfair. Like you're leaving some of us behind. We're feeling like we're not getting enough. Some of us didn't intend not to be on site, just that we have these responsibilities. Some of us are mothers, we have families, not we want this.
Okay.
So we really have to participate. Like I've been trying to do Web3 for years. I didn't know where to start. So you coming up was like a game changer, a gem killer, like just brought it up. So now I'm all enthusiastic into joining up, and man, you're saying that people on site are better, they're all booming, wild and loud. I look at the Peturiano.
No.
It's not, man.
I think I think the 4 hours here are okay, are good. It's just that these people have more time and we have more resources here. So yeah, they have a YouTube playlist on the Central Code. Actually, they uploaded their first content today, but they also have like their Twitter accounts. They put upload.
Imagine they already have a YouTube playlist.
No, but because no, the issue is that at least here we can mobilize like some of the resources that we have here. It's like an incubation place. The cameras are here. Like if someone wants to do podcast, everything is here. So, but away from that, they are studying the same content, so they study in the same time. Like, yeah, the content is the same. It's just that they have more time on the exposure. Also, the other thing is, for sure, as you've said, we have many responsibilities. One of the things we want to do is to ensure that we can make money as quick as possible. Like, that's one of my plan, that if all the people who are investing in their time can quickly come to a point of making money as quickly as possible from what they are doing, from what they know, that's awesome. So I'm doing my best with the 4 hours I have here, but at least the content being studied is the same. It's just that we have extra things and people can know each other more. Like, somebody can know that this one is insufficient. We have Manuel and then Tumusime. So I don't know if I've answered, but it's the same content at least. So
yeah, you've answered halfway, halfway, because if there are cameras that side for those guys to use, then you can also tell us to come up with something. For example, we have neighbors who have iPhones. I could borrow an iPhone for a video for something,
okay. So the other thing is, at least if you tag the central code in your content, or you tag me Kakoza Vian anyway on X. So I'm very vibrant on X because that's where like most of my community is. That's where people I talk to are. So if you can tag me on what you're doing, if you want to maybe take advantage of the central code and you would want to share what you're doing, or maybe you've seen something and you want to have something like uploaded on the central code channel about your journey, it's very open. It's very open, and yeah, I think you can feed off that credibility and even create something. We don't have many things. We don't have podcasts in Web3 that are standing. Maybe builder stuff here that are standing. So you can leverage that. I don't know. Yeah, but I think that's the best I can do. And yeah, thank you. Hope I've answered. Yes, Mr. Manuel.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about Judith's concern. Was it Judith? I'm sorry, yes. I didn't get the name.
Yes, it was Judith.
Yes, Judith.
Okay. I don't know. I think maybe the idea was brought out not in an appropriate way. But the truth is, we can create content from wherever we are, and we can. I think if we're deliberate about learning Web3 through this bootcamp, I think all the other things that you're having, like responsibilities, yes, I know they will definitely come in the way somehow. But if you block out some time and be deliberate about learning, about building content in that particular section of time in your schedule, I think we can all achieve. Now, for us, we have resources. Like we have a camera, we have microphones, we have capacity to do certain things that someone elsewhere may not be able to do, even though you're still in the bootcamp. But I think that doesn't limit you from creating content or documenting your journey using another method. We're using a YouTube channel and X. You could use a podcast and X. You could just be creative with the resources you have and create something. Yes, we do have more time than the rest of the people online, but I don't think that restricts you from being as efficient during the learning process. So it shouldn't disappoint you and make you feel downhearted. I think in your position, wherever you are, I believe we can all create something that is helpful to us during this journey. Or perhaps we could do Twitter spaces, interact with each other, both online and on-site. You just keep guiding each other because it's about sharing, really. We may have more time, but we're still willing to share the knowledge that we were obtaining. So I may know something because I have the time to learn it, and because of your responsibilities, you don't. But if we share, somehow the knowledge will still pass on to you. So I think we just need to be open-minded and agree to share information as much as we can. Let's help each other learn Web3. That is all I'm saying. With all the resources I have, I can still help anyone else that doesn't have as much time as I'm offering myself. So we're just here for each other. So don't feel bad about it. Let's share. You can suggest something that will help you learn faster and learn more. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Hey, Katio Olabo Uzibo. You know, I met someone, I was training someone, some Web2 stuff, some JavaScript and all that front end stuff. But then as I started training them, I noticed they did not know how to use how to take advantage of Google tools. For example, maybe you need to write some documentation. They didn't know how to maybe use things like Google Docs, use maybe Google Slides and all that. So I was basically showing them the available everyday Google tools, and they knew how to browse. They knew a bunch of things, but you know, there's sometimes she needs to access some things on the go, and she didn't know how to do it. Like sometimes she saved everything on her PC. When I told her, no, if you should do that, use Google Details, use Google Tools, so that wherever you go, you can just access them from the Google Tools. You know, just log in and boom, you're good to access. So what I'm trying to say is, sometimes there are certain little tiny skills that maybe you think is very small, but when actually you don't know, and I need it. So I've never documented anything like you guys are documenting now. Right? So if you tell me just document from where you are, I don't even know the tools you're using, how to do it, you're sending me to fast AI research, nothing I would, you can just tell me go here, and do that. So if it's a general concept that you're incorporating into this course, I think it would be good to know that maybe every day after this and that, you go here and document that. And that, I don't think you don't need to tell me that twice, unless maybe something breaks and I'm not able to access, I don't know, something like that. But I think it should be shared knowledge, whereby just, you never know, even some of us also have cameras here. You know, you never know. Or for the sake of learning, you don't know how much I can fight to try and get a camera so that I can do this, because I want anything that, you know, when we're starting this, Kakoza said something that it's good to build in public, it's good to be out there, it's good. And then someone else, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten his
Arnold or
name here.
Or Jane.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think he said that he got his first, no, one of his gigs he got it from LinkedIn. Yes. Because of being out there. But that was nice, man. That was nice. I've learned that. Because some of us were building in the cold. You sit with your PC in the room, lock up. That's when you're waiting for people who know you. That's why I've learned that I need to keep up my online presence. So now there's certain tiny tools that look really tiny, and you expect someone to know when I don't know. So if you say you guys are building for that side and you will have a lot of tools, who told you we don't have tools here? Well, I may not have, actually don't have a camera, but if this is part of the module, man, I may fight to get this, you know? I may fight tooth and nail to get it. Okay. You know, so guys, be nice, share everything with us. Don't let us feel left behind. Motivating, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Okay, yeah, the truth is we have more time, like because we have the morning, we have the afternoon, but we're willing to share. That is the point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Whether online or on site, you're still in the boot camp. So as a class, everyone that is part of the class, we should be able to share. That's exactly the point that I was trying to put across. And also about the tools, I didn't really say you don't have tools. So I was saying just be resourceful with the tools that you have to document the progress that you're making. So Vian can be my witness. I just learned to use the camera like last week. I had never touched the camera. So with anything that you have, be willing to use it, and find the best way that you can use it to create content. So everything that you mentioned, someone you were teaching and they didn't know how to use Google tools. I understand there's always a boundary in a learning process, yes, a hindrance in a learning process. So by your willingness to go an extra step, if you don't know something, you can always ask. There could be someone that knows what you're trying to learn and you do not know it. So just be open, ask someone, they'll be able to guide. And if it's not very helpful, use the internet. I just had one tutorial on a camera, and I can use it now. Like I actually had never touched the camera. There might be boundaries in the learning process that may stop us from being able to access certain services or tools that we may need to help each other. But I think we can still learn, even if you're trying to learn something and you do not know it, and it's getting really hard. Talk to someone. You get the point? They'll be able to help. I'm sure here we know different skills. Much as we're all learning Web3, we've all come from different backgrounds, and I'm sure we have skills in different domains. And if we share these skills, we will be able to uplift each other somehow. By the end of the 4 months, we'll all be much better. So let's just share. If I know something, I will be able to help. If you know something, I will definitely ask, and I would expect you to help. Thank you.
All right. More hands to Musime Johnson.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Kakoza. Only my two questions. One is in the chat. I wanted to know what we are supposed to have in order to continue with this session. Maybe what we may need, maybe a laptop of this kind, or maybe a MacBook. I can see you have a MacBook there. Then two, I wanted to know if there are some people like on my side, I'm a program already. I build some softwares. But the question is about Web3. Is Web3 going to replace the tools we've been using, like we email, JavaScript, what, and we are using maybe frameworks. Is Web3 going to replace all those tools, and we go to Web3? Then also, if there are some people within us, maybe who are not developers and some are developers, is this content excluding somehow, somewhere is going to exclude some people? Maybe some other people can first pause, or the other people can continue with this. Maybe in case you are tackling a certain part, or maybe let me say HTML and CSS, when others know about them, should we also follow the same? That's my question.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I don't think Web3 is going to replace anything in Web2. But I'm sure Web3 has more open opportunities, and like it is very easy, to get value for your skills in this field. The concepts themselves, decentralization. If you're going for that work, you don't need like a lot of, I don't know what they call it, like you go to this one, go through this one. No, we are in the field where you can meet even the founder, like on X, because those are the concepts of Web3. So it's easy, and it's also very easy to get value. So this is a field where Africa is not tagged, or they don't know, or even not saturated. So, but I don't think it is going to replace anything, but it has a great deal of more possibilities. Though there are some things that are better if they are in this field, as we shall learn. For the tools that you should have like a programming laptop. I think that's it. You're good to go with that, and then be willing to learn and to put in the time. Mr. Manuel, your hand is still up. I think you're the last person I close this, and then we go to, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say one last thing. Okay. Code Journey was an initiative on site, and we hadn't really planned it up front. It just came up as an idea last week as we tried to discuss how we progress through the bootcamp. So we're open to having anyone join us, because all we're doing, we don't have a work plan for how things are going to happen. It's just something that started. So would love to be more and use it as a platform, as a brand, for everyone in the bootcamp to document their work. You could choose to join us or create something of your own. This isn't. It is part of Decentra Code, yes, but it's just a brand that we started to help us document our progress. So if you want to join us, if you want to document with us, document your progress with us, we're open to having you. So please, if anyone wants to join us as Code Journey, Code Journey is just a documentation platform under the Decentra Code. So I'm open to receiving you, and we can work together. We can help each other improve, become Web3 developers. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. I've seen another question about recording. So it's something that we are still discussing. Surely recording 4 hours and sharing them is something huge. Maybe we could have a preview after every session. I don't know. And then, yeah, it is costing a lot of time. So we definitely are going to put it into consideration. That's the thing. Yeah. All right. So thank you for sharing. I think we are always going to have. Is Manuel still raising up his hand? Hopefully not. Okay, Manuel. Is your hand okay? Yeah. So we shall always have these cutting sessions, because this is how we're going to better ourselves. And yeah, the next the agenda is what is even blockchain. So we've created this in a way that we have not assumed anything. Before we ask what is even blockchain, I want to start with this concept, because we may not even care what blockchain is, but what should incentivize us to learn this thing? Where is the money, or where do we go to? So I'm going to first share, because I remember very well my journey has been mostly incentivized. I learned about the tech, I liked it, and I looked for places where if I learn, I can, get rewarded or something, or if I do certain challenge, so that I can keep, having the steam to go and to pay off my bills. So yeah, for Africa, for Web3, at least for East Africa, I think this year there are some hackathons that are happening. We are having Ethiopia. So hackathons is one of the ways you can really sort your pockets and then keep learning, because there are many things to learn. Recently, AI agents came and hit the wave, and they are here. So many hackathons about them. I know this is in the Web3 space. And then I think we have on 8th March, we have the Lisk Roadshow, and Santiago will be here in Uganda. I believe he'll bring a hackathon. So, these hackathons are there are competitions where if you can build something, or if you have built some concept in that ecosystem, you can go back with a bounty, and that will sort you out, and then you keep learning And I think we also have Memwai Africa Challenge in Kenya in May, I think 19th. Those who can. Last year I was the winner. This year I don't think I don't know. This year I'm focusing on this. So, and yeah, I got 1,500. That was much money to really push me. Not much, but some good money. So, if you if you prepare somehow well, then we have East Safari coming September. These are they're like events, but for me, I really look at where I can get value. So building, because if you're a builder, you go compete. I remember East Safari last year, Memoir, I went alone, and really I told myself that by September we should go as a team. People should know that we are building. There's something that I think Jen said. It's like we are very cold. It's not Jen. I've gotten the name, Diana. So Diana said that we seem to be very cold, and people don't know. People don't know what we are doing in silence. So because during my Mai challenge, there was this thing when I went to Kenya. Actually, many Kenyan hackers. I looked for a team, and like people said, what can that person do? So I ended up doing the hackathon alone. And it was just out of frustration that I looked for a team to join and no one could give me a pass. So since I was part of the hackathon, I ended up doing it alone. And fun enough, I won. I was the best. So I realized that actually you can, if we really sort ourselves, we can go and bring back that money. In September, I remember I told myself we should go as a team. Now, I didn't have many resources, but we ended up, having a good mobilization, because as a team, you then represent a country and you can bring back bounties if there are bounties. And you can even bring more opportunities, like, people look at your region as a viable funding place. Yeah. And because, like, I think it was 2023 where Kenya was the biggest place where investors invested in, but it was $182 million, and Uganda was nowhere. Like, even if we get an eighth of that in our tech industry, that's already enough. So yeah, I had that intention, and fun enough, we made it, and in September we were 8 builders, and we brought back around 6,000K, like the entire team out of participating. Almost everyone was hacking. I remember we shipped like 6 small hackathon projects, and over 6,000. At least everyone, most of us got. The 2 were already founders and had big pockets, but that shows that if we created impact, that we are building back here. So that's the same spirit that I came in and said, why don't we create a bootcamp that can clear people's mind? There's a lot of noise in this space. It seems when you're building, it seems you're doing something wrong. You find tokens high and down, and so that's why we are here. So the reason I've talked about this is I think you can put this in mind. I have one of the people who is attending the bootcamp. She was there in September, and she only told me, I want to make sure that I go to Kenya and I win some of the hackathon. If I come back with some good money, my year is done. Like, that was crazy, something I never thought about. So then the other thing is I'm going to share where to incentivize from. I've been a fan of this platform. I think I don't know, maybe I liked it a lot, but there's this platform called Dora Hacks, which really has hackathons for Web3 and free. Like, if you've learned something, try out. These things are free. I remember it was October, it was IB ideation, and I ended up getting something like 500. Please, I don't have money. I'm broke. But at least these are the things I've tried. And they are trying, like, they have worked for me on some cases. So, they are here. There are some hackathons here. So if you're good, like, maybe BTC Phi, ETH, Oxford, most of these are remote. So you can come and engage. Also here under grants, I think there are some quadratic funding, grants DAO, mini grants. Look through the platform. This is where you always want to start from, because the question could be, why am I even studying this? You've done your Web2, you've done your, like, sort of your Web2 stack, and it seems there are no jobs. You're like, why am I studying this? These are places where it's free. It's free to participate. So I've not done a lot of research. There's also some other place, I think it is called. So anyway, there is DevPost, but DevPost has a lot of Web2 competitions. So, but I usually, I've even gotten the names, Code and Code Club. So, if you have Web2 and you're shifting to Web3, maybe you're like, man, I want to make sure that I have something. Challenge-driven hackathon. So, also this is a place to be. And are there job platforms in Web3? but I'm not an expert there because I haven't tried them. So also the place that I've really been going to, and like I did a lot of open source contributions, especially in the initial days of StackNet. But there's this platform called learnweb3.io where you can boost your work. So there's this thing called open source hackathons. I think they are done. They were there in 2023. We used to do challenges here, but these days they no longer put. So when you click on open source, I don't know, is my internet slower or yeah? I think these people have curated, always every day they curate the easiest, quickest way. Most of these are in like Ethereum ecosystem, what we are going to learn. Bug report, update the link on stable pages, good fast issues. Do an issue, have that thing on your GitHub. Talk about the first issue you did and tag Learn Web3. Many people will have the belief that you're doing something. UI color changes, these are something that I think good issue, but they've required. So enhancement, Filecoin, most of these are into the Ethereum ecosystem, are into what we are going to learn. Yeah. And then sometimes you can but these are free contributions. But the good thing with these things is that they give you visibility. And then the other thing is you can make a free contribution and ask whether they do funding for people who contribute after your contribution. Okay. Then there is Encode Club. So Encode Club so this is a place like where you want to learn on a given concept in Web3. They have these, I call them rapid learning things, but also they do hackathons. So, and they do a lot of hackathons online. Recently, we've been doing some hackathon on Encode Club. They have Mamathon coming, and modular, whatever. You can come and check. They also have a YouTube channel, which really, for example, if an entity organizes an hackathon, they can all the sessions they have taken through. Like if you want to go through something concept, let's say maybe Chainlink organize an hackathon and you don't know much about Chainlink, you can have a curated list of around 6 YouTube videos for you to catch up. Yeah. But these are just platforms to incentivize you. The biggest deal is as long as you build a product, every protocol has a grant program. Every place has almost every protocol has a grant program. Everything that you integrate into your product, you can go and ask for funding from that place, but that would be a long-term thing. So maybe you build something, you feel it is not worth it, take it into a hackathon. If you get funding, continue building it, and then go for grants. Yeah, I think every chain. So yeah, there's also Angel Hacks. So we also did some on Angel Hack. Yeah, but I think I can stop there. I've shared my research. I think there are very many other platforms. If Global is coming, you can do it all online. Like, man, these are places where anyone can compete. All right. So yeah, before we go into Web3, I think I've done something to let us know that there is a field here. Even if you're building on BTC, whatever you're doing, there are hackathons. I've seen build on Stacks, IBC. Okay. Any questions on that? Yeah, we are moving well with our time, and the reason for the 4 hours is for us to keep asking, to keep bonding, to keep like working together, and also always ask. Most of the time, like we've been teaching, we have been racing against time. So yes. If not, I can continue. All right. So back to our question, what is even blockchain? Okay. So I think the reason I want to define blockchain is because there's really too much confusion. You can hear the term Web3, blockchain, Ethereum, somebody talks about this, Lisk. So things can like bubble your head and you think what is what, so which is what. So to someone who knows blockchain, these concepts would seem very minimal, but someone who really has just always been having these things hitting them, these are very, very needed concepts. So a blockchain is a distributed digital immutable ledger, and I'm going to be like explaining that is used to record transactions and store data in a secure and transparent manner. Like I'm going to always be talking about the concepts in themselves. So it's based on a decentralized network of nodes that collectively maintain a single source of truth, allowing participants to interact with the system without the need for intermediaries. Okay, so a blockchain is like a container of data structure that aggregates transactions for inclusion in a public ledger. Okay, so when I speak, like the reason I started with this, I know they are very confusing, but the biggest thing that explains, so I'm going to be picking one. So we say blockchain is something that is distributed, is a distributed digital immutable ledger. So what's this thing called distributed? So in our Web2 or in a current structure, if you're programming, if you're building something, you have a front end, a back end, and a database. So a database is a centralized sort of place where your data is kept. So this can be maybe accessibility to this database could be sort of distributed in a way that maybe there are servers closer to places, but it's the same database. So in blockchain, instead of this data being, or instead of you having like building and the data is stored in one given database, maybe you're using Firebase or MongoDB and you have a place where you have this data, it is distributed in a way that every participant in a node, that is every computer running a node, and I will say what's a node, every computer running a copy of that blockchain, every computer running the blockchain has a copy of it. So let me say, instead of you having storing this database that is maybe using AWS, so I can have a copy of the blockchain, and we said, this is looking at a record of transactions. So if we are talking about transactions, one of the use cases of really blockchain is transactions. Yeah. So I can have a copy on my computer can have a copy, your computer can have a copy, and another person's computer can have a copy, and those are called nodes. Now the confusion comes in that if someone on that network, so these computers that are having a copy, they're having like independent copies. So if someone on that network is broadcasting a transaction or wants to send maybe A to B or wants to write to the blockchain, whose copy of data will they use? So that question brings what we call like it's called consensus. Consensus is simply a set of rules that the participating nodes or the participating computers that have copies of this blockchain follow to ensure that the broadcasted transaction or something that has happened on blockchain is agreed to be true or false. I think that's a great explanation. So blockchains, I mean, so when you take it like that, if for example you have a copy of, you're running a node of Ethereum, or no, let me even start with Bitcoin. If you're running a copy of Bitcoin or a node of Bitcoin, and someone else is running a node of Bitcoin, if somebody if a user of Bitcoin chooses maybe to send money from their wallet to someone's wallet, all the nodes that are running the Bitcoin, in this case they are called miners, must agree that that transaction is true, meaning that there is funds in that person's wallet transferring the funds, and then to solve a given challenge. So for Bitcoin in specifically, the miners do solve a computational challenge. That's why it is called proof of work, a computational challenge, and whoever finds the right lock that can put this transaction from the previous transaction, broadcasts this to all other participants, and they can see that that is right, and then he gets a reward of money. So he gets like a financial reward. The best way I can relate to our financial system is just look at mobile money. And when you're transferring maybe 10,000 from your phone to another person's phone, there's a transaction fees. So imagine if the set of rules to make sure or to prove that that money has moved from your phone to another were listed, and anyone can participate in making sure that the transaction moves from your phone to another person's phone, and then maybe the person who gets it right is given a reward. That means that this transaction fees, then that becomes distributed, but mobile money is centralized. So yeah, that's the clearest example I can bring. And then the second thing about blockchains is that they are immutable. So immutable means that whatever you write on the blockchain, whatever transaction that happens on the blockchain is not changed. So if you move money from A to B in Bitcoin, that transaction is not changed. That means that somebody can come back and query to see whether your transaction happened, to see whether the transaction moved from address A to address B. Or even you can go back and see the transactions that happened. You may not know the owners of the wallets, but you can trace. Yeah, because no data is immutable. When you come to Ethereum, maybe you're building something like putting a smart contract. If you make a mistake in a smart contract, you will deploy another one and get a new address. But that also brings some new things. One of them is if you agree on a thing and then you put it on a blockchain, let me say you've deployed a smart contract that does A, B, and C, and then the participants want to go that way, and for you choose to pull out, the smart contract will keep doing what it does, like what its deployment does. So that's one awesome thing. So the immutability also brings some kind of trust, that because like for Web2, you could change the color. Maybe people have said we go with this color, and then tomorrow you change the color and you just change the code. Yeah. And that also brings new possibilities. Possibilities like automated, saving piggy banks, Vivina, like many other things that can be automated, and the result will be deterministic. So there is also transparency in blockchain. Now, most of what we know, most of the blockchains that users that are using cryptocurrencies know blockchains as being transparent. But actually, blockchains have two things. There are those that are permissioned and permissionless. So permissioned can be like a blockchain that is within a given organization and is not open to everyone to see the ledger. So, or to see that like distributed, to see the blockchain. So there are some blockchains that are enclosed, like most of the banks speak to each other, big banks speak to each other through blockchains, but their blockchains are locked. You and I cannot participate as users Yeah, but they could participate with other banks and show things like proof of funds, such things. So there are those permissioned blockchains, and one of the reasons I'm even saying this is some of those blockchains also tend to have some hackathons. So last year there was a Dera hackathon, but it is permissioned, but one transits to permissionless, but actually it is permissioned. But also these blockchains have something good, because they now have very few nodes being run, so have high efficiency, and decision can be made quickly. You can find that there are only 5 organizations that are running nodes on this blockchain, so it is very quick to come to decisions compared to public blockchains. And also the transaction speeds are high, but it's a trade-off of security, because outside or as a user you don't know what's happening on the blockchain, or you can't see. Okay. How far with that? Is it clear how blockchain, like an understanding of blockchains, or I can continue? Okay, we are 26 minutes to 7. 4 hours a minute. Okay. So, all right. So, if as we continue with blockchains, I think let's go to this concept, the now problem with money. So the biggest use case that at least have been proven in the blockchain ecosystem is trading and money transfer. And one of the reasons why we say blockchains are for Africa is because Africa is one of the continents that doesn't really have a concrete infrastructure of moving money. That's why, like, if you create solutions in this field, you could think if the market is saturated, but people still use, very many means, like, I don't know, I've even forgotten, these MoneyGram things to move maybe money from either the European or Asian countries to here. Yeah, but when you are in this field, you feel it is easy, or it is okay because you can quickly move your Bitcoin. But if you can make any more easier, that's a solution. Off-ramping, on-ramping, if you can, create maybe people moving stable coins quickly without charges, without those big charges. So one of the biggest issues is money. And the biggest problem we have with money is that most of the transfer of money includes intermediaries. So if you're sending money maybe from someone here to someone who is in Kenya and you're using a bank, you will be shocked that it would first go maybe to US or UK, and then the third party gets off their cut transaction fee and then reaches someone in Kenya. So, and one of the use cases of blockchains is to remove intermediaries in whatever field. So, for example, in that, what brings the intermediaries is the central database. So if you remove the central database and you make it distributed and have like defined rules, which is called consensus, that these people running nodes can follow, and maybe they are incentivized, then you've solved many things. Then you've solved the issue of centralization. The other thing is, of course, they make transfer of money or other things, tokens, cheaper and instant. Okay. But also removing intermediaries brings other great things. One is you can now start having concepts that we didn't have, like decentralized autonomous organization, where we have decentralized governance. So decentralized governance is really where there are many organizations that have been formed where there is a treasury and the community can decide on the proposal to take it forward, and then the treasury funds it from the treasury collects its money maybe from the transaction fees of the blockchain or the L2O, the money it is assuming. So these are new concepts that have been brought because of the blockchain concepts. Okay. I think I've I've really talked about much on that. Let me see. So I can go maybe to the question, what is Web3? So the reason for Web3 is, these concepts, like, they're like confusing. That's why I brought them for us to really understand them. So the internet started with Web 1, and Web 1 was simply a mechanism where organization could create websites and we could read. It was a read-only thing, like Wikipedia. We come and read. It was like sort of a newspaper thing. Come online and read what the organization is saying, and that was it. So in the Web 1, that was the means of consumption, which was read-only. So I think around 2000, or it may be less, like, Web 2 emerged, where we can not only read, but we can read, write, and also interact. So Web 2 also produced companies like Facebook, the WhatsApps we have, Twitter, and all these companies. And this created something that is, these companies became like the concentration of power. So this created this concentration of power, and now, like, you can find Twitter influencing the presidency of US, even Facebook influence the presidency. Like, these platforms have a lot of power. Like, these people influenced, I was reading about Facebook influencing some inside war in a country, civil war within a country. So these platforms accumulated a lot of power, and they became like behemoths. So of course these standards, we enjoy them as we interact, but we don't have power over whatever goes on with these platforms. And then Web3. So when you're talking about Web3, we are talking about new protocols. So we'll hear about things like protocol, you hear about like this protocol. What actually they are trying to do is they are trying to solve the issue of decentralization. And they're like, how can an individual own back their content? If, for example, there is an issue with YouTube, how can I go with my subscribers from YouTube and I cannot operate from there? How can I go with my subscribers from YouTube maybe to Twitch? So these are the platforms that are building this sort of decentralization, even in the web structure. And that has produced many opportunities, of course, for builders and also for Web3. That's why we have very many protocols coming up. Very many protocols are coming up. A protocol for Web2, we had HTTP, HTTPS. Now very many protocols are coming up. CCIP. I don't know. I think even Ethereum is a protocol. So protocols are really technology built on a given set of rules. So this is what we mean by Web3. Any questions? Okay. So we continue. No questions? Or should we do some code? Yeah? Ask, I've muted. Okay.
Good evening.
Maybe if I put on my computer, like, you talk.
Good evening.
No, your microphone is off.
Sorry. Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
May I have a question on transparency as one of the features of blockchain. Yes, pardon me on the permissionless transparency.
All right. So when we say like transparency, we mean literally that you can see the addresses. That, for example, this money was transferred from this address to another address, or this address deployed this smart contract. But that's the transparency bit. But the privacy bit of it is, unless you know the owner of that address, you cannot know which person he was. So unless I give you my address, you cannot know. But if you go and query the blockchain, you can see all the transactions from Genesis. Yes, Mr. Arnold.
Yes, I'm going to go a little bit behind. You talk about blockchain. It's a like it store all information about transaction that is happening on the block. So I'd like to ask. It's like a database in Web2,
Yes.
and yes, and how do you, for example, how do we make sure that that information cannot be manipulated by another person, or how can we be sure that, like you said, that that information cannot be changed? How can we, like, as someone who is deploying something, how can we be sure that that things cannot be maybe updated or maybe changed by another person, or maybe then since it's something that it's everyone can see, everyone can
Okay.
know this person has done something or has made this transaction.
So that's a good question. So one of the way, actually, in terms of a database, even the first question is, doesn't it get full? But we shall go to that. But the way we make sure that actually things are not changed is through consensus. So, for example, consensus is when everyone agrees on the blockchain that this transaction has reached finality. So finality is like finality. If a transaction reaches finality, it cannot be reversed. So let me say you deploy something, a smart contract on the blockchain. As you're deploying it, if it reaches finality, or if the transaction becomes successful, that means that all the nodes or all the computers running a copy have agreed that that is right in a way that it has been deployed on the blockchain, meaning things like the gas has been paid, the address is a true address, and they agree on that, they reach what we call finality. So at that stage, you cannot reverse the blockchain. You cannot reverse that block. You cannot reverse that transaction. And if you can't reverse that transaction, then you cannot change it. So the reason why it is called actually blockchain, it's like a chain of blocks that when you move from point A to B, you don't go back. So every information contained within a given, maybe probably a given transaction or a given point is not reversible. Like you cannot come back to that point. I don't know whether that somehow answers.
Yes, I got your answer.
Yeah.
And from there, I got another question.
Yes.
Like means like the transaction have to delay is not something that since like it has to be approved by other nodes
Yes.
or any other, like the transaction have to delay.
Yes. Now you are getting it well. So you find that most of the permissionless blockchains, the public blockchains, actually their transactions delay. So for Bitcoin, transactions take some time. For Ethereum, transaction takes some time. So the blockchains are solving this trilemma thing called decentralization, security, and scalability. And what that means that they want, because if a blockchain is decentralized, that also means that it cannot be stopped by a centralized entity. So maybe a government cannot stop it because no one has control over it. It is distributed between different computers, and actually even other computers can spin up a node or a copy of it and participate. So that's what brings its security. Now, that also brings its security, and it's also decentralized in a way that anyone can participate. But then scalability is one of their biggest issues, that they are slow. I think right now Ethereum is, is it 15 transactions per second? That is very slow. So solutions have been built on top of that. And if you really, as you've grasped the concepts, a lot of innovation has been what we call L2s for Ethereum, and even there are L2s for Bitcoin, has been to solve the issue of scalability, the issue that transactions can be very fast. So some of the builds on top of, let me say Ethereum, I can say an L2 like Lisk or Base or Optimism builds on top of Ethereum. And the way they make sure that these transactions are fast is that they create a mechanism whereby they collect transactions that are happening on their blockchains. So this is called rolling up. That's why we hear things like roll-ups. And then when they bundle these transactions. Let me say I have built sort of a smaller blockchain, or a blockchain that is on top of Ethereum. And what I mean by on top of Ethereum has a smart contracts that brings the transaction, that submits transactions to Ethereum, and also talks to Ethereum, and also Ethereum has a smart contract that talks back to this blockchain. That is the simple meaning of like an L2. But then for me, I have my mechanism of reaching finality. It may not be that I am decentralized or I'm running nodes as an L2, but I have a mechanism of reaching finality. And if I roll up all those transactions, let me say I put together all those transactions. So let me say for me, the sample blockchain I've built is having, let me say, 10,000 transactions per second. I can roll them up into one transaction, and I submit it as one transaction on the L1, which is Ethereum. Yeah. So that's the innovations around it, and it's very good to get that concept. Now you can easily know why should I build an L2, or where is the business model. Yeah. Thank you, Arnold, for really asking. You can keep asking. Madam Judith.
This is a great session. So and to repeat the roll-ups. Then again, you talked over most of the L2s being built on the Ethereum ecosystem. Is there, like the Solana, are there other L1? Do other L1s have L2s? Like now Solana, does it have an L2? Does Bitcoin have an L2? Or on what ecosystem is Bitcoin's L2 built anyway, by the way? And then please help clarify some more on roll-ups, really. For example, if someone is using maybe say Lisk, that's an L2. Maybe say Chainlink. Is Chainlink an L2 and L1? I think. Sorry. How does roll-ups work in there? Like what are roll-ups?
Okay.
Clarify some more.
So. Yeah, I'm going to come to roll-ups. Let me start with other blockchains that have L2s. So there are other L1s. So Ethereum is really taken as one of the blockchains because of the biggest blockchains, because of one, its capacity of programmability and its support. So there are very many ways you can get support in the Ethereum ecosystem, and also the smart contract bit. So other L1s include Bitcoin, and even Solana is an L1. So on the concepts of a blockchain, Solana is scalable, is very fast, is very quick to reach finality, but is not decentralized. So it's not decentralized because it has very few validators, very few people are running the nodes, and it has a very high barrier of you running the nodes, and it's like they know themselves. So the reason why
Then you cut out. Maybe it was my network. Who did you say is decentralized again? Who is centralized and not decentralized?
So to some extent, Solana is centralized because of very few nodes that run the ecosystem, but it is very fast. Yeah. So most of the blockchains are running on those three concepts. Yeah. There are other L1s like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is slow, but then it is using the consensus mechanism, the set of rules they put to prove a transaction is proof of work, and proof of work requires computational power of the participating nodes. So that means that also, though Bitcoin is decentralized, it is centralized on who can participate due to the high level of you becoming a node, but also very few people own Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has L2s like the Lightning Network. There's this chain that is coming up. There are many L2s on Bitcoin. There's Lightning, there's Chakra chain, there is I don't know whether Babylon testnet has a mainnet. Yeah, and they are building also on that concept. They are building on a concept that most of the Bitcoin is locked up by the Bitcoin people who had Bitcoin initially, and how they unlock. So they build their own systems, and maybe in a way they can talk to this, to this network. Yeah. So that's the concept. So on the roll-ups, are those concepts somehow understood? Okay. I'll guess at least I've passed on something. Now, what are roll-ups? What is this thing called roll-ups? The name itself called roll-ups comes from rolling up. And rolling up what? Rolling up transactions. So one of the concepts we said of a blockchain is that, the transactions are immutable. That also simply means that Bitcoin, the blockchain, take for example Ethereum, keeps increasing. The data on the blockchain keeps increasing because whatever you put, you cannot remove on the blockchain. So what they have done is that they have come up with technologies like, let me say, Marco trees, whereby you can upload your work elsewhere and just submit a hash, and a hash is like a link to your work. So a link is not changeable to the work, maybe to the work somewhere in places like IPFS or even like a database. So you could just submit a hash to your, or like a link to your work on the blockchain, because if you also put data on the blockchain, it costs you a lot. Yeah. But away from that, when we are talking about layer 2s, we mean actually rollups. So there are two kinds of rollups so far. There is zero knowledge proofs and optimistic rollups. Mainly, they are not the ones. There are also validiums. They are mainly those ones. And the zero knowledge is what they call by zero knowledge proof is that this chain which we are calling an L2 or a layer 2 as it is called, can bundle transactions without knowing what is in the transaction, but can prove that this transaction is part of these bundled transactions without knowing what is inside. It is somehow similar to a concept of Markov trees, that a Markov, and there we shall, I think that's very far, but there is that technology whereby you can bundle, you can gather all the transactions you want to send to the L1, which is Ethereum, and you can prove that a given transaction is part of the bundle without you knowing what is inside the bundle. So if they can bundle these transactions in very small times, and maybe per second they bundle 10,000 transactions, and Ethereum is taking 3 seconds, maybe 15 transactions happen in 1 second, it means within 1 second these people shall have made like let me say 10,000 transactions to Ethereum, because they have bundled it into one transaction that the Ethereum virtual machine can prove, or that the Ethereum blockchain can prove to be true, to be a correct transaction. Then there is optimistic rollups. Optimistic rollups comes from the word optimism, being optimistic. So being optimistic is simply knowing that all the transactions we have bundled together are right, unless somebody proves wrong. It's like a court case. Unless somebody comes and disputes and say one of the transactions that has been bundled on this is wrong. And what can make a transaction wrong? Maybe the person who is sending, let me say you are sending tokens. Maybe the person is sending tokens that they don't have, or they don't have enough gas to send that token. That transaction can be wrong. So that is what optimistic rollups are. Then there are things like validiums and side chains. Yeah. So most of these are in that category, but they are researching their tech. You can find like in the ZK, in the zero knowledge rollups, there are many layer 2s that are there, but they are having their own mechanism of the zero knowledge proving. Maybe there is zero knowledge, there is ZK sync, the stack is stacks, but also it's a ZK. Yeah, maybe in the optimism, there is optimism and the super chain layer 2s like Base, Lisk, Unichain has come. So you can also build an L2 because there is usability for it, and the decentralization is open, like you can go for funding for it. Yeah, there are other L1s like most of the chains, maybe there's this chain, what they call it. Yeah, there is this chain that is very famous here in Kampala, but there are L1s. Polkadot is taken to be an L0 because L1s build on top of it. ICP is an L1. It's a chain of itself, has its own finality. Yeah, I think as that response answered the question. I can assume a yes for that. So that's how like blockchains come to be. Judith, it's something clear, because if you get that, then like nothing will really puzzle you around in this ecosystem. So all the things we've said, the L2s, the rollups, most of them have their own tokens. That's why we have different tokens. So why is most of the token created? It's a utility value for transactions. So people could easily like a blockchain can be there without a token, and a person can put data or remove data, but a token is a way to regulate things like distributed denial of service attacks, like just putting unwanted transactions on the blockchain, since there is an expenditure bit. So that's the initial use case of tokens, but also tokens can be, transferred into money with the invention of things like DeFi. You can now convert your token into another token or into fiat. Yeah, But that's why we have very many tokens, and you can hear of very many chains because of the different things they tackle. For example, in the Ethereum ecosystem, there can be like L2s, and L2s have their tokens, but even people can create their own ERC20 tokens or their own tokens. Yeah, and if they put liquidity in them, then these tokens get value. Some become meme coins, some stay having value if they have utility in them. Okay, we've really like expounded on the concept of blockchains. So we can have a break and maybe one of us can discuss what I haven't discussed. You know, if you feel, I would also love to get your feedback on how we have talked today, because I think we have done most of the concepts, the theory behind many things, and yeah, tomorrow we might have some interesting bits of getting our hands dirty. So, Madam Judith, is everything like okay?
Not bad. Just that just a few things missing. I'm not sure if it's right for me to over ask now. Let me just keep.
You can over ask. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. Let me first suck it in. You know, when you're talking, I'm writing something down.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why when you mentioned my name, I take a little bit to get back because I was writing something down, like I'd be writing. So I was just thinking, if you fail to answer me, then maybe no. If I fail to get it right, not answer me. If I fail to get it right, maybe I can text you on WhatsApp later on. But I've gotten it. I've gotten the concept of L2, but now the utility inside the token and the token situation was a bit harsh to my ears.
So the high level explanation of a utility is, since we are writing to these blockchains and the data we are writing to these blockchains is immutable, like cannot be removed from these blockchains. So some people who are malicious can overload these blockchains with data and make them very slow. So a token is a means that is first advised. The utility of a token is that people are using the blockchain, because wherever you're writing data to this blockchain, you will have a transaction. You wrote a transaction. Maybe you're writing a smart contract to the blockchain. Deploying the smart contract will require a transaction. So one of the concepts of money is our ability to believe in it. That's why credit comes from belief. So, and what proves that? Okay, Judith.
In the maybe the next classes, are we going to talk about the differences between utility tokens and meme coins or meme tokens? What type of tokens exist? Maybe the difference between tokens and coins. Are we going to tackle that in some time to come?
Not really. Actually, like, this class is a very, very open and very theoretical class. But we can tackle it here. And if also there is someone who is, interested here to have a response to those, you're most welcome. Because really, yeah. But I can have an opinion which is not financial advice. So, yeah. But I think this is the best opportunity we have, because today we really strategize to make sure that we talk to make things clear. Yeah, if you don't know something, so. But I can have an opinion on that, and then maybe someone else can add on. On the meme coin. Is it okay? Yeah, Dan, I think Dan, is it Dan? I think someone raised their hand. Oh, no, left. So for me, the difference I know between utility and meme coin A meme coin is simply a token that has been produced without value, but its value is based purely on speculation. And how does this even come? Like when people believe there is value, or the value of the token is going to rise, they will come. That belief comes when many people are speculating about that. They will come and invest in that token. Remember, you created the token on, let me say, Solana, or on Base, or on any L2, or on any chain that of your own, and then there is speculation that that token is going to increase, maybe because of the happenings or because of attachments. So because of that speculation, the other concept of these coins is trading, or crypto itself. So because of that speculation, people are going to come and keep investing. Or maybe there are initial people who put in a lot of their money in the token to attract others to invest in it. So as they invest in that token, the value of that token is increasing, even without it having anything like it is used for transaction or it's used to do this. It's just a token that you created through programming. So that as many more people invest in it, the value of the token increases. Now, when the people who put in a lot of value, a lot of money, those could be initial investors who wanted to attract others. Remember, you can buy the token or you could sell the token. So when these people that put in the initial liquidity or a lot of liquidity decide to pull out because the token that was buying at probably 0.1 is now buying at 0.9, decide to sell their tokens, that token drops. And when drops, those are things we hear like rug or what. But the people who were within the investment period before it drops gain. So that's what a meme coin is. And a meme coin, the reason why meme coins work is that they are very relatable to normal people. Like, yeah, some people could say, I'm investing, they're like Ponzi, but you know, those who go in first, or those who go in when the whales have removed their liquidity, can also benefit from the meme coin is rising. So somebody maybe buys at 0.1, had little money, and then the coin is 1000x, had maybe like $5 and is having $25, and then they pull before the whales remove their liquidity, they have also made money. So to me, that's the concept I know of a meme. Yeah, a meme token. You yourself as a builder can make a meme coin. I think there are very many things now to do meme coins from. We're having a forum where people are saying, could we make Traoli token, something? But yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about we come up with a project of creating a meme token, a genuine one, at the end of our cohort?
That could be your assignment too, because we are going to create tokens. Also depends what you call a genuine one, because as long I've ever created a meme coin on Stacknet, and surely it got some value.
No, we use pump.fun. Is it pump?
Pump.fun on Solana.
Yes.
So yeah, pump.fun can work, but what you call like genuine is that you put your liquidity and maybe you have distribution, but you don't know what the other party will do. Like it's maybe a group can discuss it. Arnold has something to say about meme. Yeah, please go on. Go on.
Yes, like on the blockchain there are so many things that has to be built, like the same way that Vianney was saying about like layer 2 solve the problem of scalability or something. If you are to think about building maybe a meme coin, a meme coin is something that comes if you maybe you don't get someone that can support you, put it outside. Like if let me say like this, if a token doesn't have an utility, it's not like it will be there, but not doesn't have like a power of doing something. like when Vianney was talking about scalability, we can think another idea that can come on the blockchain comes like a new idea, not only based on scalability, but also based on something new, another problem that we can solve, so that from there we can create our own token based on something that we have done that is really have meaning on the on the blockchain. Yeah, that's how I can say about that. I don't know
I
if
think
it's
I think that is really something that is a great like saying about that. Because really people also invest in those meme and people get serious losses. But if we build something that has value, maybe like we're building a layer 2 or we are building a product that has value, and then then we can build a token which we own the initial amount of it, but because the thing has value, the token will keep increasing in value. And as long as the token increases in value, we the initial holders who have large amounts of it will keep earning from it. Yeah. Because even when you look at really blockchains are open. So if now there is consensus and someone can run the blockchain, then what about those who built the blockchain? Those who built the blockchains have a lot of the coins of that blockchain. You can imagine the people like Vitalik and the team that built Ethereum, even Gavin Wood by that time. These people have a lot of ETH. Yeah, because Ethereum has value. Yeah, and that's a better way of and a better approach towards the token. Any question? I feel Judith has something to say.
I'm just listening, guys.
Yeah. So that's it. And also one of the reason I've really explained this like expoundly is one of the issues we are facing in Africa is that we haven't built things. Yeah. We tend to think like products are meant for others. So when you think of let's build layer 2, like there's an entire docs for setting up a super chain like Base, a super chain like this, because Base and this are super chains built on top of Optimism. And I was talking about that because I was trying to build it when I was in Safari, and many people were telling me there's now no more value for layer 2s. But this year there's a layer 2 by Uniswap, which is called Unichain, that they have launched. And these people are launching more value. So why not at least build something? Because maybe we could bring mobile money on the blockchain. We have a layer 2, and yeah, maybe we could create our own token. Like, these are real serious ideas that we need to be very bullish about, and we also need to put our hands to work. But yes, we are still continuing. So it's amazing. I've never taken these like this long, but I'm enjoying it. Hope today we shall stop at at 20 or at like 8. Yeah. But hopefully I hope we have gotten this. So since the blockchain is open and there is money to be made, and that's why actually many chains are supporting people to build on top of their chains. You would think, because I think this is the biggest reason as why Africans are not even considering like building. You can lock. Are not considering like building their own infrastructure. Web3 has given Africa surely an opportunity for us to now have an opportunity to build our own financial infrastructure. We have not been part of any financial infrastructures that were built before, but then I think there is a lot of incentivization that many of the builders don't even find the reason to build these infrastructures. we just want to build on top of something, but because probably it is there. Yeah, Mr. Arnold, I think this is a great discussion.
Yes. Like as the way that you talk about blockchain, that's mean like for example, Bitcoin doesn't know its value. When you are discussing about, maybe it's us who can say like this is the value, the way we search it, the way we want Bitcoin, the way people talk about Bitcoin, the way like means like Bitcoin doesn't know its value, Ethereum doesn't know its value, means like if maybe like or when I was reading about Chainlink, it's talk like it's an oracle because it also comes as a like it comes as Web2. It can combine Web2 and Web3. He can know like this is the USDT amount on this coin. Why not like build some like come up with an idea of maybe creating something that can recognize or like the value of each coin maybe on the block?
No, okay. Now ideas have started coming, big ideas. Yeah, but that's the truth. Blockchains don't know their value. It's us who trust in them. So when you hear Bitcoin is heading to 100,000, it simply means that we are putting our money behind it. We are talking about it. We have put our trust in it because we are believing it is more secure based on its reputation, and because of its decentralization, that it is us who are giving this blockchain the value. So if we create something that has value, that maybe as you've said, then people can put in value in its token because they believe in the value it is bringing. So yeah, that's the essence of decentralization. If we learn it from that perspective, because I've seen some of these chains are really owned by countries, and whether what they are keeping on them. Starknet is mostly Israel people. Lisk is mostly German people. People are putting value in their own. It's like they are creating also their own new mechanisms of money. But Africa doesn't have probably anything to that level. And it's sad. So yeah, if we can think about it, keep building around it, and there's a lot of support. For example, if you set up an L2, everywhere you go, like even Ethereum can support you, but it seems we haven't dreamt enough to that extent. Okay, anyone can add on? All right. This discussion seem very productive, though long. Could we have a break for?
Does the break mean we hang up and come back, or we just leave this on and then we should get back?
You can just talk about something random. You can be in. You can send a search tegede. Like feel relaxed as
Kati, let's have a break. So this is what I'm thinking for the break. How about we create a strong community? Vien, you're already out there. You are well, by the way. Koratia, Uganda, you are well. How about Otuyambi to building a strong community? Then we build, I swear, a token. I swear I'm so into it. I'll be so supportive. When to collect community yaffe. Tuzimbe website yayo nga nungi. You get it, eh? So whereby we have a strong social media presence, and then we just make some money alongside developing. What do you think?
Arnold, you know what you're gamba.
Even there is another person who has
Ronnie,
say something.
Ronnie, you're welcome, baby. Hey, tuwe you.
I think that's that. Uh, I like your like your like. Can I how can I say the passion the commitment? Yes.
It's okay,
If
cool.
maybe we bring something, any idea, and we bring it out for the community, not only for here in Uganda, but also for like around the world, that idea will be better. Will be better as we continue building, as we continue making this blockchain known. Because when I joined Web3, it was like I didn't know like, but something I like about it, it's when it comes for payment, because on when you are working on Web2 and the Web2 company pays you, it's another struggle. It's another struggle. This one have to get his own part. This one has to get his own part, and you find what you are working on. It's really few from what you are from what you have like from what you like from your salary. Sorry. So if we come up with something, any idea, that's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Not only learning, but learning by applying what you are learning and put it.
Everyone, I don't know if I'm clear.
You are clear.
Hello?
Yes, you're clear. Okay.
Okay. Let me also say something. First, I want to talk to Judith. I feel like I understand what Judith is meaning. Man on the side, we are devs. What if we use this to our advantage and we create like a token, and that token maybe gets value, and then but this thing has a problem. First of all, which problem are we solving with this token? Creating a token is fine, but not a main token maybe.
We are solving money issues. Baby boy, money. We are solving money. Like,
Okay, look, if you are going to create a token, it's like you have bought land, and other people, if other people buy, the only way you're going to exit liquidity. So technically, it's like buying land, but instead of bringing development there, so that the value of land increases, for you just hold on to your land, then other people bring the development, but it doesn't make any difference to maybe like these rug pools, because all those tokens out there, the meme coins and stuff, almost do the same thing. However, there are so many good reasons why we need maybe like a community and a token, like as Africans, as we, or maybe as Ugandans, or as the people here, we can also, but if we are going to do it realistically and maybe trying to follow some, I don't know how to call it, not trying to be like the rug pullers do it, you just create token, like you are saying, money. If we build a token and all you want is to make profit from that token, it's going to bring a lot of issues. First of all, it's like a scam. It's like you are rug pulling people. Why? Because the only way you are making token is selling your share and leaving people who have bought. Because you are extracting value from these people who have already bought. So it has a lot of issues. If you're creating a token only to make profit, it really comes with a lot of issues. I don't know if you are considering that, but there are all other good reasons. For example, I saw a very good reason, like you talked about creating a token using Pap.fund. all of that is possible, but you have to make this token more of a community token. It's like incentivizing people. Now, for example, if we created a token for this bootcamp, and we said that each time a person joins, they are going to be speculative. Kugamba, it's not real. It's upon the holders of that token. So even if they create a token for this bootcamp and they give away, we can so two things, but creating a token with only profit in mind is a bit tricky. That's what I wanted to stress out to Judith, because he has a very good point of creating a token and making money, but I don't know if it's a bit tricky. It's not easy. So that's it.
So okay, maybe I can explain this way to Judith. I think you've had a lot of like meme coins where people are saying we have made 1,000x, but the reality is to every token there are people who have been rug pulled. Rug pulled means there are people who have invested and have lost. And to those people that have lost, that speculation or that token, they lose trust in the creators of that token. So the reason why people stay having trust in many of the tokens that you see, even when they maybe go down in the bear market, is because these tokens have other utility, have other values that they use them for. The best way to, I think, to approach making money for Africans is to create value. And one of the ways at least we are doing is to make sure that whenever we go out there, we bring hackathons back home. Hackathons, if you're ready for hackathon, we have talked about the May hackathon, which we are thinking that it will be here May 8th. This is 1 month where you could come back maybe with $100 or an M or what, yeah, based on the organizations. That's where I started from. I started from, at least where we could go and compete for money as we bring value on table. Because the truth is, even when you create a meme coin, at least you must put in some money, must put in some liquidity for it to have some initial value. And for other people to trust in any coin, either they should be, they should have that incentive to trust, which would be they know about it first and they know maybe the people behind, or they know its value, its utility. So because any token can become a meme coin, as long as a token doesn't have any other utility, it can become a meme coin. So for us to create a meme coin, we need to be big in money. Maybe we have put liquidity of such and such an amount. But again, you can experiment. You can experiment, Larry people on online, and do that. But now even in the field of meme coins have lost value. We now have AI agents. Yeah. So people have made AI agents in Web2 which do specific tasks based on knowledge bases and have created tokens for them. And because others believe in either what the AI agent is doing, or the token that, because this is an AI agent that makes decisions based on certain knowledge, then they have invested in those tokens. So these are concepts that have come. So at least the biggest thing, the fundamental of all those is, are you building? Because as you build utility, as you build something that will give value, then you can easily create a token for it. Otherwise, there is a lot of the unknown story you don't hear is the rug pulls that people have faced, and the trust that people have taken out of very many people in the community. For example, very many people lost in the Donald Trump token, as others got money, true, but very many people lost. On the other edge of the hand, these people have gotten money from others because there's no any other value that this token has apart from that. So yeah, that is it. So at least if you can look into getting a skill, maybe participate in competitions, make that free money, add others. There are things like like what they call them, when you write these, there are people like you can write for, there are platforms where you can be boosting their token and maybe you're paid, I don't know. But as a builder, I think the best way is if we keep building, then what we build will bring value. Yeah. So Ron Manje is talking about building a community, and maybe you can explain. By the way, these sessions, I think this is also my first test of these sessions, but they are good because your point gets out clear because we have the time. I think this is also the best way to build a community. This is the best way to push each other. Yeah, maybe we could come from here and say, you know what, we want to prepare for My Africa and make sure we come back with that money so that we can now have something to do. Because the biggest issue is, even if you want to build, you need to have some sort of way of getting money, and the best way is to get it from this field. Yes, Arnold, you can say something.
Yes, when you're talking about building, I think like maybe we can build something like a platform, decentralized platform for insurance, where like someone like we solve these things of insurance where like someone had an accident, it has to delay, it has to pass on this, and took years without the person have not even yet get refounded or supported on the accident, and yet he was assured. Maybe if like you can come up with a small idea of insurance, something that is automatic, like you pay and you register, like now you start paying, and once something happen, like few people, few account can activate, say like, oh, this and this, like you get paid out for the things that for the accident that has like for the accident or for the things that has happened. That's
okay. Yeah, good that we have started, opening up ideas. Like that's what if you build and iterate, I think, yeah. Because actually one time we were even talking about this Bibina, like almost every community, every market has a Chibina, but many times, many often, the people who lead this Bibina run away with the money, or if someone is going to gets his money and then his round of paying, then he opts out of the Chibina and leaves the debt like they're all these things. So even just automating those things, and maybe we are getting from transaction fees, because you can build and then add on transaction fee on the product, and everything is automated. The smart contract can be audited maybe by someone else. There are also those ideas. So everything you think about that has that thing of automating, and people can use such things like I don't know, there are really very many ideas. We can also even think about DAOs. Now insurance is a big issue, NSSF is a big issue, people are not paid their money. If you can build this, we can think about building such an idea of where we have a product where maybe money automatically like goes back to the wallet of the person who put it there after a given number of years, things like that. Even maybe triggering death when somebody dies and they put their money in terms of ETH in a given wallet, and maybe there's proof of death certificate that has been put into the thing. The money can be distributed into the wallets that were listed. Like these are serious things that we can put on the blockchain and they are not changed. As long as we have thought about maybe a small business model that for every maybe transaction we have a 0 point this or another business model and leave it automated, I don't know. So these are all great ideas that come in this space. Even we still need on-ramp and off-ramping. We even still need transactions of money. There's a lot of issues. You bring money to a bank and then they freeze your bank because they see certain amounts. If we could ease somebody just keeping, like maybe they transact through a decentralized platform and they don't know that they are using the blockchain within their currencies. Like really ideas are good, and I think that's a very good direction for us to think about, because this is bring value and these issues are really, yeah. Or even they hack your account. True. I remember really one of the things I used to do when I got some money from the blockchain, I was only off ramping it to mobile money, like little pieces of it, until I dried up my wallet. But yeah, these are serious things that we can build and we can think about, because they are problems that are happening to us. Otherwise, anyone, and as we shall learn how to launch a coin or a meme, but that is a dead end for you in case it rug pulls. People can come for you and others are jubilating as a scam. And maybe you participate in one, and because people who really earn from those are people who have insider information and know when the people who have a lot of liquidity are going to rug. So, but yeah, but again, experimentation is really open. Experimentation is open.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I? Can you just rag? Can you sometimes just choose to rag pull guys out there? Because I mean, everyone's rag pulling. Is it possible? Because I noticed there's some. Nowadays, you don't need to hard code. If you want to, you don't need to hard code a meme coin. There are platforms available for you to create a coin. Then you just go and push it to the platforms to launch it. How about? Is it possible? Is there anything wrong with ragging? Or if you rag, would your liquidity go away?
Now, okay, so what I think, so like let me say pump.fun, you've gone to pump.fun. When you create your meme coin initially, it doesn't have value. So for you to bring in value is some people must put in liquidity. What it means? If you've created 1 billion tokens, maybe someone needs to come and buy, or you need to put an initial money to lock an initial money into the coin. So wherever people sell, a rug pull is simply that somebody has sold means that he has dumped the token and gained value and changed it to another coin that he thinks is more stable. All the other people that bought, it's almost like the same as trading. All the other people that bought will still have their tokens, but their tokens will have no value. So now the question of rug pulling depends on who are you rug pulling. For example, when you look at really African economies, Ugandan economies, you've told your friends invest in this token, and then they wake up tomorrow and they invested, even if it is like a 50k UGX, somebody finds that has like 500 Ugandan shillings. You have trust issues with those people. Maybe if you put it on a global scale, I don't know, and then you do it like that, yeah. So it's not a sustainable mechanism of making money. And also you can get a loss. For example, you can put in value and somebody extracts your value and you remain with, yeah. So it is a game. It's a game of speculation. If you're good at it, if you have a team behind it, you're running Twitter, we believe in this coin, you've put in a narrative, I think, yeah. But also now people have shifted their liquidity so much from memes to AI agents. They have become the new memes. Yes, Judith.
I'm just saying I understand. I get it.
But keep the zeal. Maja said it is not moral, but if you keep anonymous, then how will people also believe in it? I don't know. Simply not moral, but if you insist, you also have to remain anonymous because it is not safe as well. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. But I love the ideas that Arnold was coming up with. We can really build things that really last time, because that value always will come back to us, and whatever you built, for example, you built your insurance platform, you can easily use it for hackathon and then get that money, then polish it, make it a startup, go for seed funding. Like there's a lot of seed funding in protocols, and if you keep pushing, why not? Okay, we can even choose to hop from hackathon to hackathons, like some of us. So we have really moved, and so wanted to, I think we have really answered the big question of what is Ethereum. But the biggest thing that Ethereum brings on the table, when you look at Bitcoin, there was no programmability, so there was no mechanism of you writing programs on top of the Bitcoin network on applications, and Ethereum brought that. So the use of smart contracts, where you can write a full app that runs and utilizes the security on the Ethereum, or you can now write them on layer 2s with a very small gas fees. That means that you don't have to worry about gas fees in transactions as you're writing your smart contracts. And the good thing with Solidity, if we are going for Solidity, it's what we are learning now. Solidity, if you learn it, you can write smart contracts on Ethereum, you can write them on Base, you can write on any EVM compatible chain, on Lisk, you can write on Optimism. So you are open, and all these ecosystems have support. Now the other thing that I would love to share is our involvement in discussion platforms of these groups. So what are they called? So for example, there is so there are always governance platforms, and also forums. I wanted forums. So many of the things happen in forums. So one of the things that was talked about initially is that it seems we as Ugandans are very cold in many things. So forums, like for example, for this, let me say this now, this is where discussions when money is being dispersed happens. You can write a proposal, you can discuss about a proposal. So as we're in your Web3 journey, maybe influencing on something is being paid for by something. So you can come, and these are L2B, our mission, values, and approach, and see how much money they are voting. So you can learn how to write your own proposal and write a proposal. And also engage in discussions. This is the quickest way how you get, probably work, how you land on links. It could just be even just giving extension. We are we are known tourists in these forums. Then most of what is discussed in these forums is taken on governance. So every layer 2, most of the layer 2s, has my computer frozen or something? So I don't know what has happened to my computer, but Celo has a governance. Other layer 2s, you can go to them. So forums, you come, you discuss, engage on something. This is where most of the proposals, for example, Sell Africa DAO, money that is given to Africa to in a given ecosystem. And this is decentralized. Like most of the reason we are complaining of not having support is because we are not involved. So after here, there are governance platforms. Please go through what this governance is. You can quickly talk to someone you want to talk to. Like like through these forums, know who is saying what, and then if you develop something, this is a place for you to come and talk about what you built. There's, I think, even best builds on Workcast every weekly. These are the places we have to be. So I encourage us. For example, if you want to contribute on Ethereum ecosystem, there is an Ethereum sort of forum. There's an Ethereum, I think Ethereum Foundation forum, where there are always those discussions, specifications, so you can get a field and then contribute and maybe be paid, or build and let people know what you're building through these forums. I really don't know what's happening with my machine, but I think by 8 we shall come to an end. So these are forums. I wanted to type the different forums, but I cannot type anymore. Suddenly I don't know which button I've pressed, but that is it. So anything on that? If there is no questions, I think we are going to really stop by 8, so we have 10 minutes. But that's it. So I can ask for feedback on how we are going. Are these sessions too long? How are they? This is our first day. We have almost completed the theory about the Ethereum ecosystem, about, I think, if you had something buzzing about, I don't know, this Web3 thing, I don't know, I'm hearing Stella, I'm hearing Lisk, I'm hearing Base, what's happening? So I think we have cleared a lot. And hopefully we are yet to build so quick and iterate and meet the markets for the money. Otherwise, if there are no more questions, we can call it a day.
I just want to say thank you so much for this boot camp, because I see everyone comes with I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to earn like this. That shows that we really have we are going to enjoy, and we are going to learn more and quickly and earn fast, which I have seen.
Thank you so much. It's really my intention. One of the things I was doing last year is to make sure that at least there are hackathons that can come back here and we participate and go with that money from here. You're sure that Ugandans we are very intentional about that. If there are no more questions, or if there are no more suggestions, we are 7 minutes to 8. I think we shall really be taking it for some 3 hours. Maybe during code, we shall have longer periods of resting. but I'm enjoying it. I love the energy. Yes, yes, madam.
That means, yeah. So I'm asking, is it every day from 5 to 9 every day
Yes,
from Monday to Saturday?
it's every day, Monday to Saturday. Actually, Monday to Friday should be really learning and exchanging. Then Saturday
Okay.
we shall be building together.
They look different. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. I just needed to know so that this is a class I want to attend. So we are running all the way to May.
Yes. I,
Okay.
the plan that we have is that from around April to May, it's really incubation and looking for those funds if we have great value.
Okay. I'm sure we're almost done. Can is it possible to leave now?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, it
okay.
is. It
All
is.
right. Thank you. That was a great session. I had fun, and I'm looking forward for more other fun moments.
All right.
I'm not letting this go. We are going to create the token. Money.
I cannot react fast enough. I don't know whether my computer is frozen. Okay. So, yeah, have a great night. I thank you for this session. Bye. So I don't know. It is back.
After the session.
Session HRM. Let me stop my OBS. This is now the issue with OBS. Like ezo gundi ziba nnene.